Alright, so before getting into this discussion, am I the only one that, like, when you're watching anime only or film material when it comes down to the Naruto franchise, am I the only one that questions where do they get these countries from? Oh, the land of calm seas, the land of pickled rice, the land of spring grass. Like, more while, honestly, these countries come up out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, these places actually existed. I think Kishi needs to like do out like a map or diagram or something to really list out all the countries in the Naruto world, because these country names keep like they catch me off guard. But anyway, while going everyone, Sanju Uchiha here, welcome back to the channel. Of course, episode 228 and 229 of the Boruto anime have aired, and obviously I haven't done any live reactions because just beyond time these weekends, I'm just caught up. But for the most part, I still wanted to have a discussion on these episodes, as well as kind of tying an idea for a video I had with it, since these episodes specifically focus on Kawaki and his interactions with the various members of the new generation, as well as his journey to become quote-unquote a shinobi. So it should be interesting talking about it with you guys. As you can see by the title of this video, we're talking about the day Kawaki will betray, the day of Kawaki's betrayal, something along the lines of that. I'll probably title this video. But the point is, taking into consideration these last two episodes, right? Like, I have a number of things I want to discuss, I'm curious about, and all that. So let's get into it. So, slight spoilers. Of course, episodes 228 and 229 see our boy Naruto Uzumaki coming up with a plot to ensure that Kawaki can properly integrate into, Konoha society. He recognizes the issues that Kawaki has as a character, because of course over the course of the Ishiki and Kara activation and the Kara arc, for the most part, Naruto has related and connects with Kawaki on a very deep level, because of course, as Naruto himself said, Kawaki really reminds him of him. So in these two episodes, we really and truly see Naruto using, I don't want to say force, but he comes up with the idea of making Kawaki into an official shinobi, and putting him on missions with the various members of the new generation as a way for him to like socialize, integrate, and get into that shinobi spirit, so that he can break out of his, basically, the shell of everything that he's gone through already, in terms of, as Hinata put it in these episodes, he's not a person who's used to socializing, having fun and playing and all of that. He didn't experience all of that growing up thanks to his time in Kara. So of course, Naruto, this is a way for Kawaki to get past those limitations when it comes down to his interpersonal relationships, so he can live a more a healthier life when it comes down to his time, his future time in Konoha. So that's essentially it, and that's a nice way to look at it, I think, because like watching these two episodes, I'm like, yo, Kawaki himself didn't say he wants to become a shinobi, so I'd forgive anyone to say, yo, Naruto kind of like forced this on Kawaki, but the shinobi Genin becoming a full-blown ninja thing is more like a bonus for the most part. The main thing that Naruto is trying to achieve is to let Kawaki form connections with those around him outside of those who are in the Uzumaki residence, because it's going to result in a healthier lifestyle for Kawaki going forward. So I definitely like that about these two episodes. Now my concern is that when it comes on to the manga, I believe it's chapter 57, no, I think it's about chapter 60, which the anime basically stopped adapting the manga at chapter 55, give or take. So the events of chapter 60 haven't been seen in the anime yet, and slight spoilers, even up to chapter 60, Kawaki in a scene with the Uzumaki household at his welcoming party at the Uzumaki residence, where we see Boruto essentially hand him a shinobi headband, and in that conversation Kawaki was saying like, yo, I'm not a full-fledged shinobi or anything yet. So it kind of makes me wonder, when it comes down to these episodes, if we're going to end up with things being a case where Kawaki is going to say, yo, this shinobi thing is cool and all, but I'm not ready to become like a full-blown shinobi yet at the end of this little mini arc, or if they're going to straight up contradict what's to come in the manga. But the thing is, I'm just wondering how they're going to tie things together, or if they're just going to change things, well, quote-unquote drastically compared to where we are in the manga now, where Kawaki doesn't really see himself as a shinobi, and there's no really hint at him really doing all of these missions and thing, apart from this one scene where we had Shikadai go up and help support Kawaki while he was walking through Konoha in chapter 59, if not also chapter 60 as well. So it's just, you know, curious how it's going to go. But to kind of tie back things with the title of this video now, right? The day Kawaki betrays Konoha. Now I'll talk about this in two different sides of the coin, because I already did a video dissecting the flash forward scene between Boruto and Kawaki, and I was deducing that Kawaki isn't really evil. So I put betray, or you know, turn evil when it comes onto this video, in quotation marks, because one thing I praised about the same chapter 60, where he gets the headband, I kind of looked at it as a symbolic foundation forming. Like how should I put it? So essentially, him getting the headband in the manga, right? It was the start or the foundation of building that emotional connection between Boruto and Kawaki and us, the audience, so that when Kawaki eventually does betray it and say, yo, the Agent Shinobi is over, and he basically, I would imagine, throw away the headband, it has more of an emotional effect or a symbolic meaning later down the line. And it feels like him doing all of these Shinobi missions in these two episodes kind of falls in line with that, which is what I like about these episodes. So it kind of has me wondering that probably at some point, taking this episode and that moment in the manga into consideration, I'm gonna throw the theory out there that when it comes on to the time skip, the day or the time frame where Kawaki more like is going to betray, quote unquote, Naruto and Konoha is going to be a future Chunin exams. And of course, part of the reason why I say that is because there's always some foolishness happening around the time of the Chunin exams, and what better time than the Chunin exams, where it's a showcase of, you know, the military might when it comes down to being shinobi of a nation to other nation. What better time than that to kind of contradict or go against everything it means to be a shinobi? And I think it would really and truly be a slap in the face of all the lessons and, you know, just all the notions that Kawaki would have learned when it comes down to being a shinobi up to that point. So I'm throwing that out there that, yeah, the day or the time frame where Kawaki is going to actually betray, or things are really going to go down, is going to be a future Chunin exams after all is said and done, with everything that's been built up between this mission and him, you know, deciding if Konoha is where he belongs, if the shinobi lifestyle is where he truly would want to place his efforts. Because even later on in the manga, around chapter 57, 58, the whole mentality and way of approaching things regarding gaining powers as shinobi is also, you know, questioned by Kawaki. I'll take the spoilers there, sorry again, but yeah, I'm just kind of tying things in, because it seems like these episodes are, you know, kind of expanding on all those little, you know, breadcrumbs that Kishimoto is putting into play regarding Kawaki's character in those future chapters. And it does seem like these two episodes, or this little arc, is supposed to just kind of expand and build on that just a bit, so the audience has a, I guess, all around better understanding of the context of where Kawaki is coming from as a character and how he views shinobi, but at the same time give that sparkle of hope that he is going to subscribe to the shinobi mindset, but at the same time, given the future, it kind of sets the foundation for that symbolic breaking of his connection with Konoha, Naruto, and etc by, you know, breaking off from the shinobi way. So it for the most part, it all seems like setup is what I'm essentially saying. So yeah, so these two episodes really dive into that. I did like, in terms of these two episodes, I did like moments like when he was getting paid, like, yo dog, all this money's for me. You know, because stuff like that, his little attitude when it comes on to the minor D rank missions. It was interesting seeing that essentially, but all in all, when it comes on to these two episodes, like everybody's really and truly in character. Former things that went on in the past of these characters really inform their attitude. Of course, again, specifically Kawaki, as Hinata said within these two episodes, he's not the person that's used to playing, growing together, and socializing with persons growing up. So it really informs how Kawaki acts within these two episodes, obviously. So it makes sense. It makes sense within it. But as he said in 229, he does want to be like Naruto. So again, it's kind of like the writers kind of giving that glimmer of hope that he still will subscribe to the shinobi lifestyle at some point. So yeah, it's interesting. The events of the actual events, like the whole plot line of them escorting this Mozoku kid Mozoku, some Yu Yu Hakusho stuff there, I know, but the events of it and them carrying him back to his home nation and to help cure sickness, and them essentially, you know, being hunted down, all of that jazz and blues, like it's typical Naruto world stuff. I'm more interested in the nuance of how the events really push or bring along Kawaki's character, essentially. So that is really the highlight of this little arc. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, but more so I'm looking forward to seeing how it ties in back with the manga for the most part, because as I said, it just seems like it really extends those little tidbits, those little nuances with Kawaki's character and how he views, you know, his time in Konoha, the shinobi lifestyle, the shinobi approach to gaining power. And it seems like it's setting the foundation for when he does eventually seemingly split off and ditch the shinobi way. The era of shinobi is over. It resonates. It really has that much more of an impact. So that's what I'm really interested in, them really building that foundation when it comes on to these episodes and this arc. The events of the episode itself is decent. Seeing Kawaki interact with all these different characters, it's good. It's good. It's the character we actually care about, essentially, which is something I always preach when it comes on to anime canon stuff. When it comes on to the Boruto anime, having characters we actually care about, it makes watching anime canon that much more enjoyable. And it's a nice middle ground to wait until the manga actually builds up. Now, of course, let me know what you guys thought about 228 and 229 and my little theory of it making sense, everything considered Kawaki, or things going down in that flash forward scene with Boruto and Kawaki being sometime around a future Chunin exams, which I think would actually make sense. So, of course, let me know your thoughts. Sanju Uchiha here. Looking forward to Demon Slayer today, well, later, or maybe even tomorrow, depending on what time I finish doing everything I have to do here in the afternoon. So yeah, but Sanju Uchiha, let me know what you think. Leave a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new, returning subscribers, shout out to you guys, and I'll see you in the next Boruto video, or the Boruto chapter review tomorrow. See ya.